Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Saturday night with TTRP Theater. I'm your host, DM Lake, and I will be running our Curse of Strahd game for this evening. As we do every week, I'm going to go through each of our players, allow them to introduce themselves, the character that they're playing, and we're going to be starting something new that I'll introduce as we go along. First, let's start with Curtis, our resident host. Curtis, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Curtis. I am the theater director here for TTRP Theater, and I am playing Frank Begbie, a Lightfoot halfling sorcerer. And I have been pretty much riddled with a nervous sarcasm since the moment that I met my group. So I'm a little bit on edge, but I feel pretty comfortable. I'm getting more comfortable now that I've realized the machine seems to know what it's doing, and the furball. Well, the furball is big. I was realizing that towards the end of it. I kept leaning on the machine, but now I'm starting to realize that the holy furball is a big support too. So I'm having fun with that.
Fair enough. Yes, each week we'll be delving deeper into the mindset of each of our players and their characters, because this is horror. You want to see and know and understand how people are feeling. Yeah. That's a good story. Next up, we have Tamara. Who I think may have frozen again.
I think she's frozen, yeah.
Oh.
That's all right. We can come back to her if you want.
All right. Izzy.
Hey. My name's Izzy. I'm a dude. You probably don't know me, but that's okay. I play Shepard, a furbolg cleric of Kalimvor, who is slowly realizing that his party of a master of the arcane, a master of the loots, and a master tracker may not be masters of anything, but is optimistic and daunted by the amount of undead that he has been facing recently. He has a lot of things that he wants to get paid extra for, but it's what it is and how it's going to go.
All right. And while we are waiting for Tamara to get back and trying to figure out why that keeps happening, let's go to pointy ears. Zoe.
Excuse the pointy ears, my other headset died, and I had to pull these ones out of the ridiculous drawer of things I own. I'm Zoe Trooper. I play Fiverr. Fiverr is a Warforged bard who really just is the life of the party, or attempts to be, probably more annoying than anything else. Fiverr so far thinks that the party is a little rough around the edges and don't exactly make for great heroes, but definitely can whip them up into shape, hopefully. So far, the whole journey has been very exciting. So Fiverr would like to see more. There's no question when we go through a spooky gate, that is the spooky gate we need to enter through. And that's it so far.
Yeah. It looks like we have Tamara back. Not sure why those technical difficulties are coming through, but we're trying to work with them as best as we can. So Tamara, if you're with us, it looks like you are, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your character and their mental state as of now?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. My computer went black for a minute. I am playing Shava Duskblossom. She's a half-elf rogue. And at the moment, she's just really confused about how things have changed so quickly. She entered what she thought was going to be pretty simple, helping some kids feel a little better. And everything's just changed suddenly. And she's starting to get a little concerned about it.
Okay. So last week, unfortunately, we did lose the end of our stream, which means nobody knows what really happened for the past 10 minutes of that session. Thankfully, I, the GM, am here to go over those events so everybody is caught up to speed. As the group continued to venture forth through this strange, noble house in search for these children that led them inside and the monster that lurks supposedly deep within the basement, they came across a library. And in this library, through some studious find, they managed to find a secret room, complete with chest, dead skeleton, and other implements that seem to suggest far more sinister accusations, including books that suggested potential fiend summoning and a letter penned by someone named Strahd von Zarovich that had some very darker connotations, complete with mention of a stillborn son sired by another woman. And at this mention, the party began to hear a crying child upstairs and remembered that the children had mentioned specifically that there was a younger sibling upstairs, however strange that may have been. That is what happened at the end of last week, and that is where we're going to be picking our session up this week as the nightmare continues with Curse of Strahd. Welcome back. So, as I was just saying, where we left off last week, the group was currently situated inside this noble house's library. They were mulling over the facts they had just learned from this secret room and perhaps even more. As you finish and put the letter down, and we just lost Tamara again, that's unfortunate, but we'll keep rolling to the best of our ability. You all sit and listen as the faint sounds of a crying infant die off once more, leaving the house to fall silent. Only the sounds of a soft, infrequent wind creeping along the house windows. You're still left to your own devices. There's no sign of anything else in the house.
You know, maybe we should deal with that crying baby later. I'm sure the kids are taking care of it. Yeah, I don't think we have to go up there right now.
No. Well, usually when a child is crying, they would like some assistance, perhaps milk. Milk is that is the one.
I mean, it has to learn to grow up sometime. Toughen it up, you know. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. I'm. All right. Just remind me real quick. Where are we trying to get to?
I just want to know where the kid. Well, we're trying to get to the basement.
Okay,
because,
right. That's the mission.
yeah.
But then the baby's crying from upstairs, right?
Yeah. This has just become a lot more difficult, and I don't particularly appreciate it, honestly. Where did I think at this point we should just try to find the kids. They are obviously playing some sort of joke, some sort of prank. They put this here to unnerve us, and it's
working.
not funny. And it's not okay. Although I will say the skeleton is very, very realistic.
Well, all right. We're gonna have to go take care of the babies, I guess, because crying babies.
Speaking of that skeleton, as Tamara was shifting its body around, the lid of the chest it was stuck inside of kind of fully opened, and you can see that there was more inside the chest than just the upper half of the skeleton's body. What looks like a mix of books and sheafs of paper.
Ooh. I'll check that out.
Can I just look over this body to see if there's anything that, like, is there an obvious sign of death? Like, what killed this? A smashed skull, broken
Make
femur?
a medicine check.
I will gladly do so.
It is actually completely obvious what killed this body. There are 3 what look like darts sticking out of the underside of its ribs. And from that medicine check, they don't seem to have penetrated too deep into the skin. You take an educated guess and say that was probably poison in them.
Very realistic. I will give them this. But those darts aren't in there quite enough to have killed this skeleton. So it must be fake, right?
Darts. Is there a possibility that there's more of them? We need a rogue to check this thing for traps.
I don't. It's open. The chest is open. It's sticking out. I don't think we have to worry about any more darts coming at us.
Is it detect magic? That's not a spell slot spell, is it? That's a cantrip.
It's a level 1 spell, I think.
Oh, right.
It is a spell.
Then I'm not gonna waste it on that.
You can. It's a ritual spell if you have.
Not as a sorcerer, he can't.
That's all right. It's probably not magic, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there might be something magic in it, but we still have to get past the trap to get to that. So we'll deal with that then.
Can I look at the papers inside the chest?
Sure. They are kind of bundled together, so you wouldn't be able to look through them without actually reaching in there and picking them up.
I'll do so.
Okay. Reaching down through the list and starting to leaf through them, you can see that the first 3 things on top appear to just be black books bound in black leather. Leafing through their pages, they all seem to be intact, but blank of anything. So 3 black leather books, quite useful. Underneath them are what appears to be 3 sheafs of parchment with strange writing on them. Looking them over, it's kind of difficult to discern, but you do manage to pick out what one of them reads, and you detect that as a scroll of protection from poison.
That guy could have used that, huh?
Bit convenient, isn't it? Can we...
As you look even beneath that, you find, well, it appears to be a deed to this house, a deed to a windmill, and a signed will.
This is getting to the territory of not my business. You know what? I'm going to take the papers. I'm going to hand it off to Frank. You're the magic person. You probably read a lot. Read through these. I'm dyslexic. I'm just going to sit in that corner and just contemplate why I'm here for 5 minutes.
Fiverr would take special interest in the will.
Okay. Looking through it, you can see that the will itself is signed by one Gustav and Elizabeth Durst and bequeaths the house, the windmill, and all other family property to Rosavalda and Thornbolt Durst in the event of their passing.
Okay. Good to know. Will honor.
The property of the windmill in question seems to describe specifically a windmill located in the east, on the east side of Valaki, on the underside of the mountains. Where that is, you're not entirely sure, but it appears it has a location.
Important question. Can anyone here actually cast Protect Poison?
Oh, good heavens, no, not me.
Cast what?
Protect. Whatever it says on the scroll, protection of poison.
Oh, my mistake. That's right. You're not a druid. You are a cleric.
Mm-hmm.
So you can. That's on your spell list.
Mm-hmm.
Not your spell yet. You would also identify the other two spells then. The other two spells were a spell of bless and a spell of spiritual weapon.
Ah. Okay.
You can recognize them as those spells appear on your lists.
This isn't mine. I'm not going to take these. Just gonna place these on the desk. If you guys want to keep them, you guys can keep them. But this is grave robbing, as far as I'm concerned.
I do believe if the folks that used to live here are indeed dead, we have a duty to bring deeds to these Rosalina and whatever his name is. I can't remember.
It's not Goose. Going through the names. You know what? Thorn, probably. Let's go with Thorn.
Oh, the children! Yes, we've met them.
Yes.
Oh, we are silly.
Okay. You know what? Sure. I'm uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
Don't you think those scrolls are better off with you than just sitting there on the desks for somebody else to come along and steal?
I mean, yes.
Well, there you go.
But stealing?
It's not stealing. It's the stealing would be like, taking it from somebody who could use them, and they ain't gonna use them.
You know what? You have a point. Sure, I'll. So defeated.
Grave robbing is a myth. Grave robbing is like when you take the actual body. But I feel like when I get in there and take their spells, I think that's perfectly legitimate.
I'm just upcycling. Yes, let's call it upcycling for right
There you
now.
go. Yeah, there you go.
To be fair, the children did employ us to get rid of the monster in the basement, so we could use these
Yeah, there you go.
items to assist in the getting rid of the monster.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So, you have procured these items of interest from this chest. Looking over the skeletal body, the armor that he was wearing is leather and long since faded. It's scraps. It wouldn't be worth anything, and even less protection than what you already wear if you wear anything. He carried no weapons on him, or at least there are no weapons still left on his person, and you've already done a fair amount of looking through the shelves. There doesn't seem to be anything else of interest here.
Right. We should probably keep going. Oh, could that baby stop crying?
If memory serves, we could not get into the basement. It was blocked off somehow. Perhaps they had a mason bricklaying person in recently. I would say we check on the baby.
Do we have to? Do we have to do that? I don't think we have to do. You're right.
Not a fan of children, are we?
No. Especially after what we just read.
I think it's probably like a trap. I think there's like a ghost or something up there.
I hope you're correct.
What kind of sick person booby traps a baby?
I'm just saying, I don't know if it's an actual baby. I mean, we're supposed to be going down. I don't know. There's bad guys. There's supposed to be a monster downstairs, and now some baby's crying upstairs. Those kids didn't tell us anything about a baby upstairs, did they? And then they took off.
They said that their parents were in here. I don't see their parents. Rose, Thorn, where are you?
No, they said their parents were missing. They went to go deal with the monster in the basement, and they did not come back. So, obviously, if the parents are gone, we have to take care of the baby.
Yeah, you're right, I guess.
Fine. Okay. You lead the charge there.
All right. Yeah.
Frank, you go in front.
What? No. Up front? Let's you, the big guy with all the divine power.
Yes. It's my duty to slay the undead.
I'm gonna stay right here with Fixer, Fiver, and bifocals. Look up, Curtis. I'll stay in between you two. The rogue, she's got all the pointy things.
Fine, I'll take the lead. I grab my mace, unsheath it, and start walking up the stairs.
Okay.
You know that's not a rattle, yes? The baby's not going to play with that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to check and make sure the baby's okay. And I'm going to make sure that the baby's all right.
You all concern me.
All right. So, is everyone following Shepard upstairs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Shepard, you make your way over to the staircase and slowly begin to ascend. As you ascend up to the stairs, up the stairs to the third floor, they creak softly underfoot. I thought I'd fix that issue. Evidently, I had not, unfortunately. As you emerge on the landing, you are greeted by a dusty balcony. Against the north wall is a suit of black plate armor covered in cobwebs, oil lamps hanging on either side. Wood-paneled walls here are carved with woodland scenes of trees, falling leaves, and tiny critters. Stained glass double doors lead to the east, single doors are set in the north and west, and opposite the double doors is yet another door with many pathways for you to choose.
Anyone have a preference? Which one's the baby coming from?
The baby stopped crying. You don't hear it at the moment.
The kids took care of it. We can go back downstairs.
So we have the stained doors, stained glass doors, 2 side doors, and at the other end, another pair of double doors, right? So 4 potential exits?
So yes, there are stained double doors off to the east. There is 2 doors set into the west. The one is in the north wall. And across from the double doors down that hallway, there is another door there as well. So 4 total exits.
Well, I would assume the baby's in one of the side rooms, but those stained glass doors are quite beautiful, and I wouldn't mind taking a peek in there.
No, just hang on, Fiverr. Just hang on. Let's wait just a couple of seconds and see if we hear the baby. I don't hear the baby.
Hey, Shava, can you see if anyone's been up here recently? You're good at tracking, right?
Yeah, I will take a look and see.
Make me a perception check. All right. As your eyes kind of scan around here, it's dark here. There's no real light coming in from outside, but your dark vision, you do make a good sign. And with the light coming off of Shepard, as I believe he did cast a light spell, you see that the dust here is undisturbed. It lies neat and flat against the floor like no one has been through here in a long time.
Yeah, so Shava looks around and she looks a little confused. She's just going to turn to the rest of you guys and she's going to say, no one's been here in a very long time.
It's good enough for me. What do you say, Fiverr? Just forget about the doors and head on down and deal with the big monster.
Well, do you know how to get to the big monster?
I just know it's downstairs from here.
True.
Well, it's definitely not where they said it was supposed to be. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that there isn't a basement, because these kids have done nothing but, be tomhooligans. I really don't want to be here anymore. Something tells me if I go through one of those doors, I'm going to meet something that I'm going to have to destroy, and I'm not too happy about it.
As those words come out of your mouth, for a moment there is the subtlest pause, and then all of you hear a soft
Yes, hello?
You look around.
Horn?
Everybody make a perception check. All right. So Curtis, you're at disadvantage because you still have a point of exhaustion, which I believe Shepard you also have, but you got an 8, so that won't work anyways. All right, with 14. So everyone but Shepard notices. Shepard is kind of looking around in a panic. The rest of you hear that again. And you see the helmet of the plate armor is turning to look at you all.
You guys see that?
They don't normally do that, do they?
What?
One of its feet begin to rise up and takes a single step forward.
Shepard.
I need all of you to roll me initiative. But I'm going to need to drag you to a map first, as you all are here. This is an approximation of where I think you all are. It's a very small hall. Make sure you click your token, and then I want you to click initiative on your character sheet.
By the way, I wasted all my good rolls on an earlier game today, so...
And I will remind you that initiative checks are ability checks, so you have disadvantage on them as well. So go ahead and roll yours again, Frank and Shava. Shepard, you can't roll any lower, so you're good.
I'm so mad.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so unfortunately, everybody did a little worse. Fiverr, you do not have disadvantage because you were the only one without that, but unfortunately, you rolled fairly poorly. Let me go ahead and get my creature up there here. I roll my shit secretly because I am a mean and malevolent GM who likes to see my players suffer. Fortunately, he rolled very poorly as well. And everyone except for Shepard is going to be going first. So Frank, as you all sit a moment and kind of lean back against the wall, you see this armor slowly stepping down from the small platform it was laying or standing upon, and it seems to swivel its head around, looking through each of you. And for a moment, you wonder if this is something hostile until you realize it raises up one of its hands as if to start punching at Shava.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not good. Hang on a second, my character sheet went nuts. I can't see anything here. Oh well, that's weird. I need to cast something. Spell. There they are. This is a suit of armor, you said?
It appears to be an animated suit of armor, yes.
All right, I'm going to throw a firebolt at this guy.
Okay.
It's just a cantrip. Let's see. It's just like and I'm just like like I kind of pull it out of my face almost, and heave the firebolt. Do I just roll? Let's see.
All right. Unfortunately, an 11 will not hit as you kind of panic and fling it around, and it sails through the air. And actually, it hits one of the lanterns and causes it to ignite briefly as that oil catches and provides another light source. Unfortunately, you missed the armor altogether. I believe that is Frank's turn, unless you want to flee back down the stairs away from this thing.
No, I've only got black on my map. I can't see anything. I did a restart, but...
Can you see? Oh, I know why you can't see anything. It's because I don't have a light set for Shepard. Give me 1 second to fix that.
I had to message you on Discord and be like, hey, over here.
There. Now you should be able to all see.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you so much.
All right. So that will end Frank's turn. Shava. You kind of glance over your shoulder as you realize this thing is bearing down upon you.
Yeah, so as Shava sees him kind of getting or preparing to strike her, she's going to go ahead and draw her rapier from her hip, and she's going to take a swing at him.
Okay. Your attack rolls are not a disadvantage, just your normal ability checks. But unfortunately, an 11, so you turn around and you swing to drive your rapier home, but unfortunately this plate armor is very sturdy, and it just scrapes along the top of the chest, leaving a mark, but superficial damage.
Yeah, that's going to end her turn.
Alrighty. Fiverr.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
It is very crowded in this area. So, I'm going to have... Oof. Furbolgs are pretty big, right? So this would be difficult terrain to sneak
Moving
through.
through an ally is difficult terrain.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go join this crowded mess. Fiverr is also going to pull their rapier and give it an attack.
Okay.
Ooh, wish me luck.
Good luck.
That will hit. As you flourish your rapier and drive it home, you manage to find a point where the separated head and chest piece are missing, and drives through, manages to scratch something. As the head kind of recoils back as if it suddenly realizes how much pain it's in, go ahead and roll me damage.
Yes. Damage.
See, this is what you get for punching my friends. I will not have that. I will take your head right off with my very pointy sword.
Its head is kind of cocked at a weird angle because the rapier's still shoved in there, but you see as its head kind of swivels and turns to look at you.
Ooh.
If that is all for your turn, we come to the armor.
Oh no.
As it raises up its hands and begins to swing them down. Its first attack roll is a meager 8, as it swings and slams into the ground, the wooden flooring, dust flying into the air. But after it does so, both of its hands kind of swing back up as it tries to punch you in the solar plexus with each of them. It is going to be a 13. What is your armor class?
My armor is 13, so that will definitely hit me.
So you dodge the first blow as it swings wide, but as it swings back up and you're leaning forward, it connects in the bottom of your solar plexus, or what would pass for your solar plexus, as you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
But that is its turn.
Like to imagine a loud tong as armor strikes against Warforged.
It's like that. It's like whenever you drop a piece of silverware and it just kind of thuds on the ground, it doesn't break, and you're like, whoo, thank goodness.
It's a nice dent.
Shepard.
Ears ringing from the sound of metal being bent. Shepard's gonna raise his mace and wildly swing at this thing.
Okay.
Oop, click that twice by accident.
So unfortunately with the 10, you get much the same effect as you slam right into the middle of its chest cavity, and all of you just hear kind of a dull echoing dunk, but it just kind of turns its head back and forth, scanning between each of you. Unfortunately, you didn't seem to hit it hard enough to do any damage.
Hey, Frank, there's room up here for you. And I start to circle around it.
Okay, easy enough. Frank.
I'm going to move to the top of the stairs and then shoot at it with my crossbow.
If you would like to, so if you move to there, you'd have disadvantage, but if you just move to the top of the stairs here, you could get the exact same shot without any worry, and you'd still be outside of its reach.
Okay, yeah, then that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Disadvantage because I'm within reach?
No, you're outside of its reach if you stop.
No, I'm saying, but that's what the disadvantage would have been for?
You have disadvantage if you're within a creature's reach.
Gotcha, okay, cool. Yeah, so let's shoot that bad boy.
And good thing you stepped back too.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll damage as your arrow pierces straight through the middle of its eye slits and slams into the back of its helmet, knocking its helmet off altogether as it flies across the room, bounces against the wall, and then just kind of falls with a thud to the floor.
Holy moly.
For a brief second, each of you just watch, wondering what's going to happen next, until the armor takes another step around and starts to scan the room without its helmet, seeming followed by its missing head.
Oh, I thought I had it. No.
Looking a lot rougher, but it's still capable of fighting.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay right there.
Okay. Shava.
Yeah, seeing this, Shava's gonna go ahead and try to take another swing at him.
Okay. That will hit as well. It is a screeching noise as your rapier penetrates through, finding a fold in the plate armor that allows you to strike into its innards, piercing through the back where the metal fold is just not as durable, and the sound echoing throughout the empty hall. It is still alive, but it is stumbling briefly, seemingly having a hard time sustaining your full-on assault. All right, I believe we move to Fiverr.
There's a degree of annoyance in Fiverr right now because that's going to take a while to buff out. And currently, the rapier is lodged still. I think. Actually, no, the head fell off, so no more lodged rapier. If that's the case, then we are going to go through another stab in the midsection of this animated armor.
Get it, Fiverr.
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Oh,
All right.
not
Unfortunately, targeting the midsection seems to be a poor choice. It just glances off the side as the creature turns around to keep all of you on its side and is unable to make an impact.
Oh, no.
Okay. We come back to the creature's turn. As it raises its fists up again, it realizes that somebody has done far more damage to it, but it doesn't seem to be intelligent enough to realize who it should be attacking, so it's just going to swing wildly in its anger and near-death state, which is strange for an animated construct. Its first swing bears down on Shava, and that is going to be a 16 to hit you, Shava.
And that'll hit.
So both of its arms slam down on your shoulders with a remarkable amount of force for 7 bludgeoning damage.
Oh no.
And as it hits you, Shava, its entire body swings around, swinging back around towards Fiverr and trying to clobber him, which it will roll a 21 to hit you, Fiverr, dealing 5 points of bludgeoning damage to you.
Not looking great right now. Pretty beat up.
But it is still looking rough, and we come back to Shepard.
Screaming internally. Shepard is unable to really help his friends here except to swing his mace once again. This time aiming for the knee. Maybe he can break its leg and they can run away.
16, unfortunately, is not enough to hit, as this plate armor is still in fairly good shape. You clobber into its knee and cause its knee to buckle at an odd angle for just a moment as its head turns around to look at you, and its knee snaps back into position, seemingly unfazed.
Damn it.
My hubris.
All right, if that's all for Shepard, we come to Frank.
So it doesn't seem to be wavering at all, apparently.
It seems to have taken some decent hits, but it still seems to be fighting with its full efficiency. This animated suit of armor does not seem to be very bothered by its missing head or the wounds it has suffered.
Okay, I am going to use my Tides of Chaos, which allows me to get advantage on one attack roll.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an attack roll with advantage.
And see if I can finish this guy off. D8 plus 1. I'm gonna try a firebolt again because it does more damage. It's probably overkill at this point if I get a hit, but this guy's freaking me out. He didn't I knocked his head off and he's still doing his thing. So
okay.
Yes.
A 21 will hit it. Go ahead and roll damage. Alrighty. As you hold your hands forward and release another explosive fire bolt, it sails through the air, and as it's raising one of its arms up to slam into Shepard, you catch it at that midsection, flying into the middle of the suit and knocking it up against the wall as the explosion sounds out, smoke pelling out of its head, and the entire thing just seems to collapse into pieces, falling away, and whatever was animating it seemingly finishing its job.
That was crazy. And it was like Fiverr's almost dead. And
thank you, Frank.
And so is the rogue. Our tracker. Oh, we can't lose our tracker.
There's the horrible grinding of gears inside of Fiverr right now. Because...
Oh, that's a terrible sound.
Ow!
Okay. I can fix this. I think. Okay.
Oh, did we get potions? Oh,
Yeah. We each have one potion of heal.
okay, cool.
Ooh.
Okay, Fiverr, you look the worst. I can hear you from here. I don't know if my healing magic works on you, but you're going to have to trust me when I say I need to knock you out in order to heal you.
I don't trust that at all.
It's better. Believe me, I do better when the people that I'm healing are lying flat on the ground and unmoving.
Can I just lay flat on the ground and not move?
No, it actually makes me really nervous, and I can't heal you as well.
Okay.
You got to do it, Fiverr. You got to do it. You got to let him fix you.
I'll knock you out myself. It's okay. I'm very good at it.
I mean, try not to hit the head, please, because I don't want dents in my face.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, my healing magic leaves no scars. You should be okay.
Okay.
Okay. I am actually, in order to activate my circle of mortality, I'm going to knock out Fiverr.
Make me an attack roll. All right. So Fiverr, I imagine you just kind of close your eyes, waiting for it to come, and then not the hardest hit you ever felt. Someone slams into your stomach, and you just kind of feel unconsciousness take you as you fumble over and pass out.
Okay, and then before anything bad happens, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on her.
Okay.
And with my Circle of Mortality, it counts as if I rolled the highest number on the dice. So at level 1, that would be a D8, so 8 plus 4 is you'd heal 12.
So 12 points of healing back to you, Fiverr. As moments after you fall unconscious, your eyes kind of flutter back open.
All the dents are gone?
If you're back up to full.
There are scuffs, yes,
Okay.
but for everything interior feels like it's in proper operating order.
Okay, there's the cursory. Sorry, there's the cursory check of Fiverr's body before there just extends a hand to Shepard and just says, "Thank you for a job well done."
You're welcome. Then I look over at Shava and go, I would have to hit you several times. It's probably better if I didn't.
I'm gonna agree. Yeah, and Shava's just gonna kind of look over, and then she's gonna recall the potions that were given to them earlier, and she's gonna go ahead and kind of scrummage around in her pack, and she will take her potion of healing.
Yeah, there you go. Take the potion. That's a lot better than getting knocked out. Oh, that was brutal.
Roll me 2d4 plus 2.
Frank, I'm sorry for doubting you previously. Even if I didn't verbally say it. You were a boon to this party.
Well, I got an eye for shooting crazy big things that scare me.
Okay. Shava, you will recover 8 hit points as the potion washes down your throat. It is soothing. There's a medicinal flavor to it, but there's also something fruity almost. You're not sure if it's strawberries, pomegranate, something.
Yeah, so Shava would kind of wince a little at the first taste, and then smile slightly after getting that fruity aftertaste. As she kind of dusts herself off, it kind of feels a bit better now.
In D&D, they can't get the flavor of medicines correct.
It's the Fruity Pebbles flavor.
As you stand among this balcony, looking back and forth, you realize none of the doors you all were standing around have been opened yet, and you all are just standing on a landing. You see that the stained glass of the doors to the north bear familiar stylization, That same windmill motif you have seen elsewhere in the house, as one of the stained glass doors has a windmill in the left panel, and what looks like a verdant field in front of a mountain in the right.
Stop looking at those stained glass doors, Fiverr. We don't need to go there. It's scary out there too. But who knows what's gonna happen?
I mean, maybe we
what
can
room-
look into the room without having to open the door at least.
Yeah, just creak it open a little bit. I don't know.
Java, what do you think?
I will agree, and I will attempt to sneak to whichever door the suit of armor was in front of or closest to.
The door that the suit of armor was closest to would probably be this door right here. The double doors with the stained glass windows are. I've realized that there's no point in pointing that out because you guys aren't on the map anymore. Okay, you can make your way up towards the door that was immediately next to the armor. There are technically two right there. There's one to the west wall and one to the north wall. All right, you tiptoe, avoiding any more creaky floorboards, though. As you do take steps, each of you kind of listen, hopefully not hearing the sound of the creaking stairs as you came up, which might signify that you all are here after your sounds of noisy combat.
Yeah, and I'm gonna kind of creak open the door a little bit. Just kind of peek inside.
Are you choosing the north door or the west door?
I will go with the west door.
Okay. As you creak open the west door and peer beyond, you see that this room is what appears to be a dust and cobwebbed, enshrouded, elegantly appointed bedroom. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Absolutely.
I just realized your stealth weapon disadvantage too, but that's fine. You guys made a lot of noise. You kind of listen in here. It's quiet. The only sound you can pick out is what appears to be a set of double doors down the room and set in the north wall that are shuddering as if wind is blowing against them. And as you kind of glance your head at an angle just to look in that way, you see that these are also stained glass, but barren, just clear. And beyond is what looks like a wall of fog beyond a balcony. There is another door in this room as well, set to the right of those doors, also in the north wall.
There's a bed in this room?
There is a double-sized bed.
Nothing laying in it?
Nothing appears to be laying in it. The room appears to be barren other than that.
Baby's good.
Just a wardrobe set in the corner.
Yeah, see, baby's good.
Yeah, I'd head back out and tell everyone that it's just an empty bedroom in that one.
So I guess that was the master room?
It appeared to be. There was a door to the north and another leading to a balcony, it seemed.
Well, perhaps they had the baby's room off of the master bedroom, like you can get to it through the master bedroom. Makes
Or it's
sense.
a walk-in closet. Who knows?
Or it is a fancy walk-in closet with amazing wardrobe.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
No, I think we should raise the price on Winston once we get back. That's for damn sure.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm going to take out a notebook and immediately jot everything that has happened in this house so far down.
Because I thought we were just going to follow a squirrel into the woods and talk to some daughter about coming back to see dad. And
I think that's my favorite thing about this campaign so far is you guys raising your prices to Winston when the thing he promised you was a favor.
Yeah, I have at least 5 favors worth of things now.
I guess I'll check the northern door in the hallway now before deciding to go into any single room.
Okay. Creeping over and opening this door, this one has a soft hinge of unoiled hinges. But as you peer into this room, you can see it appears to be a storage closet. Old linens are lined in the walls, as well as miscellaneous other things such as soap, bed sheets, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I dip back into the hallway and say, "This is just a linen closet."
Yeah.
Okay, so that leaves the stained glass doors, right? There's no other doors that we haven't checked yet.
There was also the
1, 2,
doors opposite the stained glass doors.
3. Yeah,
The
there we
double
go.
doors.
We got
They're
2
also
more.
stained glass, but clear. I think.
Well, there is the double doors that are still on the landing, and there are
right.
the double doors that are in the bedroom, as well as the single door that is in the bedroom.
Okay.
Well, Shepard's gonna take it on him to open the double doors to the horizon, the one that's still in the hallway.
Okay. Stepping over and opening those doors, you see that this room must lead to the master suite. It leads to a dusty, cob-filled master bedroom that has burgundy drapes covering the windows. Furnishings include a four-poster bed with embroidered curtains and tattered gossamer veils, a matching pair of empty wardrobes, a vanity with a wood-framed mirror and jewelry box, and a padded chair. A rotting tiger skin rug lies on the floor in front of a fireplace in the north wall, which has a dust covered portrait of a man and woman hanging above it. A web filled parlor in the southwest corner contains a table and two chairs. Resting on the dusty tablecloth is an empty porcelain bowl and a matching jug.
That's nice furniture. That's disgusting. That's really vain. Wow, this is a room. And not what we're looking at. So the other room must have been the kids' room, because this is definitely the parents' room. I don't want to go in.
We still haven't gone through the big double stained glass doors, or was those the ones you just opened? Or you did?
No,
Those were the ones he just opened.
Oh, okay, cool, the master. So there's just the opposite doors then.
Mhm.
So,
yeah.
Fiverr would take interest in the tiger skin rug, even though it's gross. They sure do like the trophies from hunts here, don't they? Patting
Yeah,
a little nudge with a foot.
I mean, it's not the most dignified way to go, but at least they're making use of it.
When she kicks it with her foot, Frank's just kind of like, eh.
It's flat. I don't think this is coming back to life.
It had no head.
You raise a point. I should trust you more on the magic things.
It's right. I know a lot about magic. You never know. That rug could come back and do like what that other thing did. Terrible. Just be careful, Fiverr. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying.
While we're still here, Shava's going to kind of investigate around the room, just kind of opening drawers and the such.
Okay. You peer through a few things. You notice that there are several other doors in this room, but as you kind of peer around and look through them, one appears to lead to a storage closet with no clothing in it, of all things. One leads out to a much smaller balcony facing off towards the east, but it's covered in fog and not as appealing as any. You also notice what appears to be a small dumbwaiter door that is closed with a bell set next to it, presumably from bringing food up from the kitchens. But the thing that really draws your interest of this room is that there's a small jewelry box that is sitting on the dresser with the full-length mirror. The jewelry box itself is what looks like made of actual silver and gold filigree.
I probably shouldn't touch it, but I'm going to go and touch it.
Okay. It's not very heavy, only about 3 pounds, and you kind of lift it up, just kind of put your ear to it, give it a soft shake. There's definitely things inside of it as they rattle around loosely as you move it.
Can I open it, or is it locked?
It is closed, but it's closed with a clasp, not any seemingly locking mechanism.
Yeah, I will open it.
Okay. You slide it around and then just open the box up slowly. As you peer inside, the box itself would be quite valuable, but inside you see that there are three gold rings, uninscribed, just basic, set in three notches. And next to them is what you heard moving around, what appears to be a platinum necklace that has a pendant with a topaz set in the middle of it that must be quite valuable.
Is anyone looking?
I don't know.
I'm staring at Frank, trying to understand him.
And Fiverr is nudging a tiger rug with his foot.
No, Fiverr is exploring the room a little bit. A little sad that the wardrobe has no clothes in it. Like, what are these people? Milling around, basically.
Yeah, so she would take the ring with what she would think is the biggest gem, just kind of slip it into her pocket.
The three rings themselves are fairly nondescript. They're just gold bands. The thing that seems to be of real value is the platinum necklace.
Oh yeah, none of them have gems. She just showed them to the group.
Okay.
Hey guys, look at this. Maybe it's of interest.
That, I'm okay with stealing scrolls, but, upcycling scrolls, but that's just jewelry. That's not really helpful to us.
Fiverr would try on the necklace and give a little twirl before putting it back in the box.
Thank you for putting it back, Fiverr.
This is why I wanted the wardrobe, so Fiverr could put on clothes while we were doing this.
Oh yeah, if no one's got any interest in it, I'd put it back, because there's nothing there that I care for.
What about you, Frank? Are these magic in any way, Frank? Do they seem to be?
I was just gonna look at that. That's gonna take me a slot here. I can check it out, but I'm gonna have to concentrate on it for about 10 minutes or so.
You're the magical expert, so sure.
All right, so I'm going to cast detect magic on those items.
Okay. So as I said before, as a sorcerer, you do not have the ability to cast things as a ritual. So you can do this, but it will cast you your spell slot.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So,
but the good news is that it only takes you about 6 seconds for you to actually cast the spell.
Oh, okay.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a d20, please. All right. So you begin to cast your detect magic. And as you do, it easily floods out around you. You begin sensing or opening your senses to any magical effects. But as the moment, nothing seems to radiate with magic. Seems fairly mundane at the moment.
Bummer. I think these are all just regular things, guys. No magic here.
Then there's no need to take it. And I immediately turn my back to the party and begin looking elsewhere.
Oh yeah, I just put it back on the dresser.
Does not appreciate the finer things in life, does he? And then Fiverr would follow out.
Okay.
I heard that.
There was just a chuckle from Fiverr.
As you all finish within this bedroom, seemingly have found everything of interest that there is to find, you take a few steps back out into the main landing. You realize there is still one more door to check across that. But as you take a moment to consider opening it, you all hear a very soft whimpering. Not outright crying, but chortled coughing coming back from the room to the west. And you get the feeling that the calls of the infant seem to have been coming from there all along.
Shh, nobody wake up the baby.
I could have sworn that room was empty.
There was one door you never opened.
Frank, you perplex me so much. Sure. Well, one door to check, guys, and let Kalimvor lead the way. As I inch closer, kind of like trying to signal the party, hey, one of you, could you open this door? I don't want to.
Yeah,
Fiber would.
Shava.
Shava can.
Go for it.
Your whole set felt like it mattered. Like
Did you want to, Shava?
You better fucking.
No, I'm actually kind of still looking at the west door. So yeah, feel free.
Okay. Fiber definitely would then. Because Fiber wants to find the baby. So.
Okay. Where are you standing at, Franco, as they are kind of settling themselves up to go through this doorway?
I was behind Fiverr. I tend to keep the Warforged Bard in between me and whatever danger is in front. So when it goes to open the door, I guess I'm going to be in the hallway at the door. It's across the hall?
This is back in the western bedroom.
Oh, it's the other door in the room.
Yes.
In the guest room.
Yeah,
There's a door
then
here you did not open.
I'll be standing nearby, shaking in my boots.
Okay. So, Java, you are going to open the door.
I think Fiverr was going to open it.
Yeah, Fiverr's going.
Fiverr will open the door. Easy.
I am opening this door.
Okay.
Be careful.
As you creep over and open this door, it too winds softly on its hinges. But as you open it up all the way, you see that there is a... Let me get my double description of this. And this one, I forgot to write one down. Oops. You see that there is a crib in this room, covered with a hanging black shroud. And just as you sit there for the fairest of moments watching it, you hear that soft whimper of a child. Unfortunately, with the shroud in the way, you don't see any sign of a child.
Interesting. I don't know. Fiber's kind of a little bit dense when it comes to spooky or obscure things. So I imagine Fiber would just walk up and try to clear the smoke away so that they can find the baby.
Well, I said shroud, not smoke. It's not.
Oh, okay.
covering.
All right. It's like a cloth thing. Yeah, I pushed that aside.
Okay. As you sweep that aside, you can see that there is black bed linen that is set into the bottom of the crib. And set on top of that is what looks like a small bundle, baby-sized, that is completely wrapped about with even more black cloth.
These people are awful at taking care of children. Here, let me swaddle you correctly. And would pick the baby up and try to peek its little head out.
Okay. So as you lift the baby up, it's somewhat, not quite too heavy, about 9 pounds. And as you kind of begin to slowly undo the wrapping around its head, the crying gets more pronounced. You can hear it more in-depthly. And they must have wrapped this 3 or 4 times because it's taken you a while to get to the bottom of it. And when you finally do finish uncovering it, it goes limp in your hands as the wrapping falls away and there's nothing there. The baby stops crying and all of you hear from behind you, "Baby, what's wrong?" You spin around and you see appearing out of thin air is the wispy and skeletal form of a woman wearing what looks like a nightgown outfit. And she's clearly just kind of leering around. She takes a general step in your direction before saying, "What have you done to the baby?"
I like to imagine Fiver's stunned at this point, like, oh my goodness, and then sees this woman who is half skeletal and is very confused, having not really encountered something like a situation like this before. Immediately goes into motor mouth,
Wrap it
talking
back
about
up. Wrap it
kind of
back up.
defensive, right? Just like, Oh, well, you see, someone didn't swaddle this baby correctly, and as Fiver's like just talking and backing up towards the door away from this woman.
So she is in the room. If you're backing away from her, you're backing into the crib.
Oh, okay, that's fine too.
no.
All right. So you kind of back up into the crib. I imagine you kind of release the wrapping that was around the nothing that you were swaddling, but she continues to drift closer, saying, "Baby, it's not crying. Why is that baby not crying?"
Because you're a good parent.
When you say that, she's kind of drifting between you and Shava Shepherd as she turns her head over to you and just cracks it at an unnatural angle, her ethereal form rising up. And I would like all of you to roll me initiative again.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh no.
Look what I've done. I've caused chaos.
Hey, 25 and a 23. It's hard to beat that. 17 and a 4. It's easy to beat that, unfortunately.
Sorry, I had to refresh my roll 20, and
You're
now
fine.
my character sheet's a little slow. Okay, there it is.
That always happens. I still need to roll initiative for her. She rolled okay. Again, everybody's going to beat Shepard, but everybody else is going to beat them. Okay. The tendrils of her wispy hair kind of spread outwards, and there is a general menace throughout her entire body. And the first one to respond to this is Shava. She is pointed the other way and seemingly focused more on Shepard than she is at you at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to take this opportunity to try and attack, though. I'm going to stealthily draw my rapier and take a swing at her.
Okay. A 15 will hit. She is much easier. As your rapier cuts neatly through her ethereal form, you do notice there's something off about it. It passes neatly and easily, and it doesn't seem to do as much lasting damage, but there is this strange marking in her, like what you've done has left an impression. Go ahead and roll me damage, though unfortunately she appears to be resistant to your effects. Wow, that's a good roll. But instead of 13, she will only take 6. All right. So Sharhead swings back around, kind of raising her arms out, almost like she's reaching to grasp for each of you, like she's trying to get a hold of you. But I believe that will be Shava's turn as we come to Fiver.
I'm thinking, I don't know if Fiver would immediately get into combat with this thing, considering it's kind of Fiver's fault it's here. Madam, I am only meant to help, and I did not expect your baby to just kind of disappear into nothingness. That's a little strange. But you really should not swaddle them so tightly. Perhaps that's the reason why. And it's just kind of talking at it and backing away still, probably scooching around the crib at this point.
Okay. So you're just trying to convince it that it's not its fault?
Just to, I don't know, soothe the situation.
Okay, make me a persuasion check.
Oh, birds!
Well, it's a 21. Her head kind of creeps over to you, and her eyes seem to narrow. I know it's not my fault. It's your fault. Your fault.
Oh, no.
Your fault.
It's not my fault either, I swear. It's just, there's just this banter back and forth.
Okay. Unfortunately, that is Fiver's turn, as trying to convince the ghost has been his action, and we come to Frank. Okay. All right. Oh, god damn it. I know why, because I never opened that door, which lets the light in. There you go. Yeah, and feel free to always speak up when I forget that. This is a new way I'm doing this. That's fine. That will hit as your crossbow bolt sails through the air. Fortunately, Shepard, your head kind of ducks low as it sweeps up and pierces through her, cutting through her body, but not stopping in the process. Go ahead and roll damage on that. All right. It seems to cut through her, leaving strange markings throughout her frame as well, but not so much as to fully put her down. When we come to the Spectre's turn, it drifts beyond from where you two are, moving closer to Fiverr, its hands outstretched for you, Fiverr, as it swipes the air back and forth, trying to reach you, saying, "Your fault! Your fault!" But perhaps due to your attempts to convince it that it wasn't her fault, maybe her heart's not in it, or maybe there's just something intangible about her that can't seem to affect you. She is unable to attack you. She doesn't seem to land a hit. And we come to Shepard.
Shepard, being faced with the first actually aggressive undead, at least he's going to guess that's what this is. He's going to go into his spell knowledge and cast Toll the Dead at it.
Okay.
This is what you do, right?
All right. It has taking damage.
So it'll be the one on the right.
Yes. As you do this and you begin to channel these magical effects, the soft chiming of a bell echoing far from the distance, you see that she kind of tilts her head like she's listening to it, but she seems completely unaffected.
Oh. Oh no.
Make me, I'll say in this instance, go ahead and make an insight check. Okay. She seemed to respond to the effect itself like something was off about it, but you realize in that moment with horror that perhaps because she is already this type of undead, she is totally immune to this type of effect.
I don't like
As in, she seems to be able to ignore necrotic damage.
They didn't say that this would work this way in school. No.
Right. I believe that is Shepard's turn. We come back to Shava.
Oh, yes, I can't see into the room.
Again, I will just delete the door. Because you can see her in the room.
Yeah, so I will kind of step into the doorway here a bit, and I'll take another swing at her.
Okay. 20 hits. As you cut another massive swath through her ethereal form, her body seeming to destabilize for a brief moment as the whiz seemed to flow off of her like they're being robbed away from what life force she has left. But her attention seems to be wholly fixated on Fiverr, and she just keeps screaming at him.
Yeah, and that'll end my turn.
Okay. Fiverr.
Oh, geez. Considering I can see the destabilization happening, my party members may have the right of this. Fiverr would take rapier in hand and attempt to put this ghost to rest, maybe? Or temporary rest. Oh.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
Unfortunately, you're still in that mindset of trying to diffuse the situation, and you kind of half-heartedly swing your rapier about. It gets caught up in the bottom of the crib, and as you try and yank it free, we come to Frank's turn. It is currently drifted away from you and out of sight.
Damn. Okay. So I'm going to come in the room. Can I see it from here? I can kind of see something, but I got everybody.
You can see it from there. Shava's in the way, but you're fairly short. You kind of try your best to aim between her legs.
All right, I
Shoot
think
high.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that and see if I can poke another crossbow bolt through there.
Unfortunately, that will not work. As you go to aim it, your aim kind of gets knocked off as Shava's moving back and forth and just embeds itself in the door frame.
Damn. All right.
You can't see very well because the light source is in the room, and that is
Okay.
around a corner from you.
All right, I'm just gonna back up one space to get out of the way. I've got enough movement to do that, don't I?
Okay. On the ethereal figure's turn, it is going to try and attack Fiverr again. It is going to succeed in attacking Fiverr again. Fiverr, its hands both reach out to grip your throat. It's an odd feeling as they literally pass through you in cold that you wouldn't think possible washes through your body. You are going to take 13 points of necrotic damage, and I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Yeah, that brings me to Ouchland.
Don't need a con save.
Yeah. That's
Right. As these effect happens, you feel the interior of your body kind of wither and shrink as your maximum hit points are reduced by 6.
Oh no.
Shepard.
No. No, I don't appreciate any of this. What I call it, Shepard's just entirely shook, and at this point, he's just going to start flailing with his mace.
Okay.
He can't get to Fiverr. He really wants to get to Fiverr, but he can't.
You could, in theory, push into that room. The creature is ethereal, so if you were to test it for a moment, you would realize you can actually move right through it.
What I call it, Shepard at this point is not confident enough in anything he's learned.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because he just got proven wrong that undead just don't get affected by the spell called Toll the Dead, the thing that he was taught to slay these things. So everything is wrong, the roll doesn't make sense, and up is down.
Fortunately, swinging with a mace does seem to do something as you cut through its body, displacing even more of this strange ethereal mist as its head kind of turns around and says, "Is this your fault too?"
No.
It's all my fault. Everything here is my fault. I'm the leader of this group.
Okay. That is Shepard's turn. Shava.
Yeah, so hearing Shepard kind of take the blame for everything that happens, Shepard's gonna kind of look at him, then look at the Spectre again, before drawing her rapier and trying to prevent what she knows is coming next.
A 16 will hit. All right. Wow. 15. Alrighty. This time, as you stab through the Spectre's fading form, you must hit something key or it's sustained enough to finally lose its touch on life. As you pierce through, it releases a gurgling call before the entirety of it just seems to break to pieces, and then its form fades and cuts away into the mist outside.
Everything sucks. Fiverr, are you okay?
Fiverr, I would like you to click 2GM on your sheet and then whisper me a death save, please.
Oh no.
Let me know when I connect again.
We're still technically in initiative because people are in danger.
Oops. I'll move.
Oh, I don't have that set up on your sheet yet. Okay, we can fix that right quick. I could have swore that I did this. There we go. You just click this and then death saves.
Strike, is she dead?
All right, mark that accordingly. All right, Frank, it is your turn next. You see the spirit is gone, but Fiverr lies in the far corner, just kind of slumped awkwardly up against a wall in a very unnatural way.
Oh, I want to run straight to Fiverr.
Okay.
Oh, I can't see in that next room.
And as she runs
Spirit
in, I'm going to kind of
targeted.
shout up, "Is she okay?"
Yes, I'm gonna check her out.
Make me. This is a weird one. Make me. Medicine wouldn't really apply in this. Make me a straight wisdom check. Looking over Fiverr's body, it's not humanoid. The things you would check for, pulse, none of that's there. And at first you wonder, is that a sign that they're dead? And you wonder, well, no, you don't think they would ever had a pulse. You reach around their person, there's no heart situation to find, but you do feel something shuffling on the inside, like there's still a warmth in the interior, suggesting that there's still something alive about Fiverr, even if at the moment they're not altogether conscious.
It's not making any of those squeaky, grindy noises or anything.
There is the odd clunk from the
Ugh.
inside.
It's not good. But it's still got some. I think it's still alive.
All right,
As much as one of these things is alive.
Shepard.
Out of the way, medic, wait, that's me. I'm gonna run up, and cast Spare the Dying just to get a little bit of extra time here.
Okay. As you rush into the room and cast Spare the Dying on Fiverr, some of the energies that seem to have washed over them bleed away, and that odd noise stops. For a moment, you're also kind of panicked. You're not sure if that was a good sound or a bad sound, but
Oh god, I killed it.
for the moment, you have to take solace that this should still be working as it is intended. And this is where we're going to take our break for the evening.
Oh. Okay.
So we will be back after a short intermission where we can take care of any business we need to take care of, and we'll be back to continue this horrible story where I do terrible things to good people.
I'm so sorry, Fiverr, I killed you.
You're on.
Welcome back, everyone. So, before our break, the group encountered some form of undead apparition. Unfortunately, due to that encounter, Fiverr is in a state of disrepair. He has been tended to, and at the moment, he doesn't seem to be in any immediate dire straits, but you all listen again to a quiet, peaceful almost house. There is no sounds of the crying child. There is no sounds of the ethereal spirit that, as far as you can tell, you have properly vanquished. But
Is Fiverr moving?
Fiverr is not moving. Fiverr is still laying slumped against the wall.
Okay. I either killed them or they're going to be fine. What in Kellambor's name just happened?
I have no idea.
Can I search my memory to maybe a cleric had told me about something like this in the past, where suddenly an apparition will just attack you?
Make an Arcana check.
While he's checking his Arcana, can I dump my healing potion in the Warforged? Is that something that they can do? Do they use healing potions?
You don't know, but you can certainly try.
My healing magic worked on it. I imagine that the same thing would happen again. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
The 13. As you rack your brain, you try and remember any time where you've been taught about spectral entities, spirits of people whom have hung on to a living plane. when their soul should have long since departed to the afterlife. And in this instance, the anathema this creature had for you all, based on this insignificant detail, this child that, as far as you can tell, you didn't actually do anything to, you are led to believe that this is something called a specter. Spirits that have held on to life due to the undying hatred they experienced when they passed on.
Okay. Well, this is weird. Also, I don't think that skeleton downstairs wasn't fake anymore. Also, I'm having an adrenaline dump right now, and I don't really know how to handle it. Can we just like sit here for a little while, please?
No, I'm down with that. I'm gonna see if this works, and I'm gonna like tilt Fiber's head back and dump a potion, my potion in. I had one. What is that?
2d4 plus 2. It is a potion of healing.
2d4 plus 2.
Yeah, and as we're doing that, I'm going to kind of step into the room and shut the door behind me.
Okay. It is easy enough to do. Move y'all back to the bottom page.
All right, well, there's 5.
But all of you now are sitting calmly inside what you now realize is the nursery. As you pour the liquid down Fiber's throat, Fiber, while you don't necessarily taste anything, there is a warmth that kind of washes throughout the entirety of your body as your faculties come back into reasoning and you gain consciousness. You don't feel whole. You feel like something has been stripped away from you, but you are conscious now.
Fiber, are you coming back, buddy? Are you coming back?
Yes, I feel bad. I feel awful, to be honest. And Fiverr would look at Shepard and say, I know now why you dislike children. That was awful.
Good to have you back, buddy. At least I didn't fail my mission. I know that this is a little soon and you just woke up. Could you? I'm having a really hard time relaxing right now. Could you like play a little song for us? I just need something nice.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Fiverr would oblige and take the loot off of their back and start to strum something kind of soft in memory of the baby, I guess. Like something kind of like melody, and that's it.
Like one of the, like something you'll play for a child in a crib, essentially.
Yeah. Humble. Just something soft.
I appreciate it there, Fiverr. Oh God, I really need to get paid more for this. I really need to get paid more for this.
Paid, period.
Where do you think this counts as the monster? Can we leave now?
I can't imagine anything worse. If there's something worse than this downstairs.
Oh, I should probably tell you what this was. This is called a specter.
What the?
So essentially what that is that person had so much hatred in their actual life, they refused to die. That's the over-under.
That sounds like my aunt.
You should bury your aunt very deep. Maybe, I heard there's this thing called concrete. Maybe put that on top of it, just in case.
Right, yeah. Let me write that down.
Shava, as they take a moment to consider on whether or not you all should just leave, you're sitting out next to this window that overlooks the balcony. And as you look out, you can see that the fog that you all passed through back in the forest, the fog that you all have had following you the entire time you've been making your way to this village, has pressed itself up against the side of the house to the point where you can't even see the yard outside.
Is so there's like a double door to a balcony in this room?
The double door is is from the main room. You all are kind of all tucked away in the nursery, but you could step through that door and out to the double doors if you wanted.
Oh no, I thought there was a door to a balcony here.
There's a window to the balcony here.
I'm gonna fly that baby right open.
Okay. In the conventional of the age, there's not really sliding windows, but there is hinged lattice work that you can push open outside.
Okay, yeah, I want to like check out the fog and get some fresh air in for fiber. Try to get everybody some, like calm everything down a little bit because I'm freaking out too.
I don't have any oil to give you there, Fiber. I wish I did. I'm sorry.
It's quite alright. I'm sure we'll find things to improve my condition at some point. But that was weird. Like, never had didn't really experience cold anymore, and it cut right through me.
Oh yeah, no. Several things today have cut straight through you. I saw them.
Touché.
So okay, well, so what are we gonna do now? I mean, I feel all right, but if there's a monster is worse than this.
Where's the kids? Where are can we leave?
Well, yeah, and then there's that too, because at this point, I'm not trusting that there's any real kids, so I don't think we can do anything for them anyways. I think whatever happened to them has happened.
They held an arrow. They existed, I think. And was it all a dream? You know, can we just all agree that those kids were all a dream, and this is a nightmare?
Yeah.
We can leave.
I'll totally agree with that, Shepard.
I don't know about leaving, however. The fog seems to have encircled the house.
Stop being realistic, Shava.
Oh, no. You mean you don't think we're going to be able to get out of the house? Can I, like, poke my hand out the window into the fog? Reach my little hand out?
No, the fog hasn't crept over the balcony, but it's easy enough to kind of slip through and just kind of wave out into it. As you wave your hand out into it, it is that same kind of cold, almost draining feeling that you got when you had passed through it before.
We're going to have to go down and check the front door.
Pull your hand back before it causes any undue issues.
We can't get out through the window, that's for sure. We're going to have to go back downstairs.
There was a balcony, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the next room.
Maybe there's a way through there. I will jump off the 3rd floor if I need to.
Hang on, Shepard. I'm feeling your fear here. Totally. That's why I got to get Fiber up and running.
It's getting too small. Everything's too small.
Yeah, so while we're kind of debating what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of take a second to just check on Phaedamar and see if he's still okay in there.
Okay.
He's been through a lot.
As you kind of peel around and look inside the cage, you can see that he's clearly awake. Like, he's kind of looking around, not quite panicked, but there is an air of urgency is not really the word for it. Nervousness, where obviously a lot of things have been happening, probably far more than he's used to happening, and he is not quite sure what to make of this situation.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a treat, a bit of food, and just kind of stroke his feathers a bit to kind of soothe him.
It helps. He bites it down, not quite choking it down, but he does manage to quaff it with ease. Brushing him softly, his neck starts careening around so wildly as he stops trying to find what he feeling what might be the source of any immediate danger. He just kind of looks around at each of you. Thankfully, none of you are too injured, and the smell of it isn't so bad. At which point I will point out there is no below 0 in damage, so you're actually at full health, Viper. You don't track below 0, you just track from 0 up.
All right, I'll adjust that.
Okay. There is no looking at the ceilings. There's no like attic or anything like that in this home.
You haven't seen anything like that yet, and the stairs only came up to this floor.
Okay.
Just from thinking of how big the house was on the outside, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to assume a house like this did have an attic.
I have an idea. We saw like a food elevator type thing in the master room, correct? Like something that you would slide open and it would be.
There was a dumbwaiter, yes.
Yes. I bet that goes to every floor. If we use that, we might be able to get to the basement, and then we can leave. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Frank,
That
I think you're the
sounds
only one
fun.
small enough to go in.
I knew that was coming, Shepard. I was already
No.
feeling it. But you're probably right. I mean, or we have to go, like, search more rooms to try to find the stairs down.
If we put you in there and lower you all the way down,
All right.
you can find the door for us, and we won't have to look.
All right. How many floor? We're. This is the second story that we're on. It's the second story from ground level.
You are on the third floor as of now.
Third floor from ground level. Okay. So I gotta go down 4 levels to hit a basement.
Okay. So you creep back out of the nursery room into what is the bedroom adjacent. And as you start to make your way back towards the main hall, I would like for you to make me a dexterity saving throw, Frank.
Oh shit. Dexterity.
That's a really good roll. In your haste, you kind of step on one of the pieces of armor and it slides out from underneath you on the dusty floor. You kind of fall on your butt and you kind of smack up against the wall. Not enough to harm yourself, but as you do, your back just kind of bumps up against it and the entire thing shifts inwards as you do so. You kind of feel around you. You kind of look back behind you and you realize there is a seam in the wall there.
You okay, Frank? I don't want to use my last spell on you.
No, that just scared the snot out of me. Knocked me on my ass. I get up, dust myself off. So it shot up out of the wall.
So you kind of bumped up against the wall, and you realize that as you bumped up against it, it shifted inwards, like the wall pushed in, like it can be moved to the side.
Okay. Can I look down and see, like, did I step on something, or?
It looks like you slipped on one of the fingers of the armor.
Oh.
Yeah. The pieces shattered to the floor, and they were just left as debris about.
I think I just stepped on something, so I'm not my way is not impeded. I just got knocked over. All right. I'm still gonna. I guess I'm gonna carry on. These guys want me to go down this elevator.
Well, as you think about it, as each of you are kind of standing out in the main hall, you realize now with this pushed in, there is something beyond the wall, past where that wall slid in. And you kind of glance around and you see there are stairs leading upwards.
Oh, hell's bells. Look at this, guys.
There's no need to curse. But did you break the wall? Why did you break the wall?
No, the wall jumped out and smacked me and knocked me on my ass, but then it went back in. Look, it's like you can get through here.
Huh. Well, how is this house alive? It just hit Frank. Are we in a living house? Are we being eaten? I don't like any of this.
Fiverr almost got 8.
You know, I was all for the adventure of this place earlier, and now I'm not too sure.
Oh.
Yeah, and what happened to these kids?
Now she's not too sure.
Oh, if this is a secret passageway, there's probably more in this house. Also, there was that secret thing back there. I just think these nobles whoever they are had too much money and time on their hands, and now there's just a bunch of secret passages that the kids are hiding in and throwing these enormous pranks
Well,
and
see, when you
trying
start,
to kill Fiverr.
I'm pretty interested in the secret passage. I gotta tell you. I mean, when you start talking about secret passages, now I'm starting to get intrigued because there might be something up there that's like good. You're down. Like, if we go up there, Shepard, and find something, say, for instance, a book or a box with, like a whole bunch of gold that would help mitigate some of the damages that we've been taking. You're gonna let me. We're gonna divvy that up, right? You're down to take some of that stuff, because
I mean, I won't. You know what? These kids owe me a lot more payment than what they're giving me at this
there
point.
you go, my man.
Fiverr
I
almost
think we
doubled.
ought to go up. I think we ought to go check it out, because if it's hidden, that usually means there's something worth hiding.
Sure.
Agreed.
And you know what? Just for you, Frank, when we search the room, I'm going to turn my back to the door and not worry about anything.
Good for you, Shepard. Good for you.
Shepard, being the beacon of light in this party, is going to go up the stairs first. Or down the stairs.
The stairs do ascend upwards. First off towards the south, and they curve another 5 feet up towards the west. At the hall beyond, you see that there is a small landing that leads to a dusty floor and door. As you step up to it, you listen briefly. It's quiet up here. No sounds of any movement, no sounds of any people. You take a moment to slowly open the door, let yourself in. You see that up here there is a spacious landing, again covered in dust and not seemingly being used in a long time. But there are several doors up here. Off to the north, there are two, and then in the east wall there are two, and in the west wall there are two. Two are down a hallway, one of the north and one of the west, or east and one of the west, and two more are closer than that. The way this is set up, it's almost like there's another floor here in what you assume must be the attic, as there are what look like bedroom doors leading off in several different directions.
Yeah, seeing that, Shava will kind of look around confused and then turn to the group. Why hide an entire floor?
Yeah, I'm getting less and less interested in this now, because if this was like where something lived, we're already like specters and walking suits of armor.
I'm just going to chalk this up to rich people.
You see, you keep twisting my arm with those when you say things like that, Shepard.
What? What? I'm just stating what appear to be facts. How is that? You know what? It's better if I don't ask. It's better if I don't ask. I continue to the first door that I see and listen to it.
Okay. So you make your way to the closer door, which is one of the eastern facing doors. Go ahead and make a perception check.
And OP, there it is.
Okay. You press a
disadvantage. Sorry.
Yes.
There you go.
You press an ear up against the door, kind of listening to anything within. Still quiet. Still no sounds coming through.
I don't hear anything. That could be a really good thing or a really bad thing.
Do any of the doors have peepholes?
They do not.
Okay.
Well, I hope these aren't bedrooms, because technically a bedroom requires a window to be a bedroom. Or at least that's the way it was in Neverwinter. Construction code and all that. I'm going to try the handle. Is it open?
Okay. As you try the handle to this door, it is locked.
Well, I can't get in here. Next door.
Yeah. No sense in forcing the issue.
You try it, and each of you can hear the Door just kind of doesn't open. To my knowledge, one of you investigated the desk downstairs in the library, correct? I believe it was Fiverr. Maybe
It was me, and I found the key.
you did find the key.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'll kind of pull the key out of my pocket, and I'll just kind of look at Shepard, and I'll just kind of point it to him. Maybe this can assist you. I'll just kind of toss it to him lightly.
Shepard lets it smash to the floor.
Just kind of
And goes,
sits there in the dust.
Shava, why did you do this to me? I lean over, I pick up the key, walk back to the door, turn the key upside down and try to put it in. Oh, it's not working. I'm sorry.
As he says this, I'll like pull a set of thieves' tools out of my pocket, and I go, "It's okay. I also have these."
Oh no. God damn it. I
But
turn
never
the
let
key
a locked
around,
door
put it
stop
in,
you.
and unlock the door.
Okay. Yeah, as he actually turns the key the right way up, it fits neatly into the door, and with a soft turn, you all hear a as the lock comes undone.
I look directly at Shava's eyes and go, "You did this to me," and I open the door.
I ready my crossbow.
Okay. As the door opens up, you see this room contains a bricked up window flanked by two dusty wood framed beds sized for children. Closer to the door is a toy chest with windmills painted on its sides and a dollhouse that's a perfect replica of the dreary edifice in which you stand. These furnishings are draped in cobwebs. Lying in the middle of the floor are two small skeletons wearing tattered but familiar clothing. The smaller of the two cradles a stuffed doll that you also recognize.
That's so sad.
That's the
nothing in here.
kids.
Closed door.
Found the kids.
I'm gonna look at Frank. I'm gonna be like, they didn't look this way last time we saw them.
From the hall, you hear Fiverr go, "Oh, are they okay?"
Yeah, they were resting.
Don't worry about it. Not at all. Not at all. I need to sit down.
DM, can you say what was in the room one more time? Sorry.
Sure. There are two wood frame beds sized for children. The door in the east window is bricked over and it's impossible to see outside. There is a toy chest with windmills painted on its side and a dollhouse that appears to be a perfect replica of the house in which you all are standing in, as well as the two children's skeletons lying in the middle of the floor.
I really want to go examine that dollhouse and get kind of a mental picture of how it's laid out in comparison to where we've been in the house and try to sort of make a mental map, as it were.
I was just thinking that.
Shepard is going to just lay on his back on the floor and just do some breathing exercises.
Okay. If you're going to creep in the room and do that, Frank, go ahead and make me a perception check, though you're still at disadvantage because of your your exhaustion.
Perception, disadvantage. Actually, I have a little disadvantage, but perception.
Okay. So you kind of creep up to the house. You kind of push on the top, seeing if it opens that way. You're not really finding any way to do it like that. Kind of lean down, trying to poke a hole through one of the windows, seeing if that will work. And as you're doing that, Shava, as you kind of stand next to him in the room, you see a ghostly apparition rise up from the floor.
Oh no.
This one does not appear to be skeletal or emaciated. It seems to be almost perfectly intact, though somewhat transparent and translucent, as what looks like the figure of the female child who invited you all here in the first place rises up from the floor, almost as if she's guiding him by the hand. Another figure rises up next to her, not clutching his doll, but holding onto her hand as if it is all important. and she says, "Why are you going to our dollhouse?"
I
Oh,
kind of tap Frank as she says this.
oh yeah. Oh, hey, kids. Yeah, we just wanted to check out the house so I could kind of learn our way around. How you guys doing? All right? You don't look so good.
She kind of looks down at Thorn, and the little boy just says, "I was hungry. So
Oh,
hungry."
Shepard, you got any food? I think the kid's hungry.
From the floor, Shepard goes into his belt pouch and pulls out a ration and holds it up and goes, "I don't want to deal with this right now. Just take it."
All right, so I'm gonna kind of just sort of backwards walk over to Shepard and start to approach the kids very cautiously with very slow steps, with
The
my
girl
arm
just
stretched
says,
out.
"We can't eat this. We're dead."
Oh, all right.
And when she says that, I'd like to ask her, what happened?
They kind of look at each other. "Our parents locked us in here to keep us safe from the monster."
From the hallway, Fiver's just like, what did she say?
It's all fine here.
However, just stay where you are. It's easier. It's easier.
"I think they forgot about us because they never came back for us."
So I'm going to toss the ration back to Shepard without knowing that he's not going to catch it, so I don't really care. But
It
I'm gonna
smacks me in the head.
I'm gonna throw it at him, and start backing out of the room and say, "We're gonna go look for that monster right now. So you all just go ahead and lay down, wait here." And
If you want
Uh,
to find the monster, you have to go into the basement.
yeah, we're gonna take the elevator down. Apparently, I'm gonna take the elevator down.
You can't take the elevator. You have to take the stairs.
Oh, damn it! Oh! We gotta take the stairs. So can we open up the dollhouse and you show us where the stairs are?
She will point to the house and say, "You just have to find them."
Oh, thanks,
Easy.
kid.
Do you have anything useful for us in the dollhouse or in your red room? Maybe a potion? Maybe a satanic ritual?
Yeah.
Who knows?
No. Why would we have that?
I don't know. Children are growing at alarming rates these days.
We didn't even have food.
I know, like Book of the Dead tucked under a pillow or something. Necronomicon.
Necronomicon, anything really.
Right.
Which point the little boy says, "You can't have my doll. My doll is my doll."
You can keep your doll.
I say we depart this
so
room.
were we? Did they say we could touch the dollhouse, or was she just like, just go find the stairs?
Well, she was pointing at the dollhouse.
But she said we had to go find them. She was being kind of snotty to me.
These appear to be specters as well, or would they be something separate?
They don't appear to be the same type of ghostly entity, but you can tell just by looking at them, they are definitely ethereal in some form or fashion. These kids are clearly no longer alive.
If we take care of this monster, will you go to your final resting place, please? What's keeping you here?
She kind of shrugs her shoulders. "I don't know."
This is now my responsibility. Why did I ask?
All right. Well, so that doesn't change the plan at all, Shepard. Come on, we'll go look for the monster. Kids, we'll be back in a little while.
As I see Frank go to leave, I'll say, just a second, and I'm gonna kind of creep slowly towards the dollhouse so that she has a chance to stop me. She doesn't want me to touch it, but I'm gonna try to open the dollhouse again.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. Just a straight perception check. And as you do so, both of them kind of watch you, but neither of them seem to move or say anything.
kid's prejudice against little people.
Okay, so you didn't have disadvantage, so that's actually a 14. All right. As you start to leer into the dollhouse, you find what appears to be a latch that allows the top of it to swing over that Frank had missed in his haste. And as you lean it over, she just kind of floats next to you and points down at a section just down the hall from where you are all standing and says, "See, there's a staircase right there. It goes down to the basement."
You said it was down the hall?
Looking at it though, you see that it looks like it's hidden behind yet another secret door.
Uh-huh.
And that the way you access it is through one of the side rooms. It looks like a storage room.
You, Rose.
Yeah, I'd point this out to Frank. I'd just be like, oh, look, it's there.
Oh, thanks, sweetie. That was really nice of you. Okay, let's go, guys.
And I'm gonna look at the kids and I'm gonna say, you guys stay here. We're gonna go try and find your parents.
Please close the door on the way out so I can sit up and not have to deal with that reality. Fiverr, you stay over there.
We don't want to be left alone again.
They can come with us.
Oh, for Christ.
Fiverr, you don't know what you're getting yourself
I
into.
don't want them to.
Staring at
So I'm gonna kind of defer to Frank. I'm not gonna answer. I'm just gonna look at Frank and be like, Frank, what do you think?
Fiverr, I love you like a brother or sister or whatever you are, but they probably should just wait here. It's dangerous. The monster, we don't want them, getting hurt or, deciding that they're more hungry than lonely and decide to chew on an ankle or something.
You're dead.
That's true. I don't want to hurt by the monster.
No, they might think you're tasty. Well, what was that, sweetie?
I don't want to eat an ankle.
Okay, well, hey, do you want to go show us where the secret door is, hon?
When you say that to the boy, he kind of shakes his head back and forth and moves to hide behind his sister. But his sister will say, "I will show you where the door is."
All right, what do you
I
think about...
already showed you.
All right, well, that's all right. Let's do that. Shepard, what do you think? Then you can keep an eye on him, and Fiverr, you can keep an eye on him, and Shaba, you can keep an eye on him, and I'll stay behind your eyes.
Okay. If you were doing that, she will just kind of look at each of you, and then she will just drift through the wall into the main corridor. You see her very briefly, Shepard, before she and her brother drift through yet another door into the room, one of the doors to the west. The one down the hallway.
I like to imagine the spooks Fiverr as they drift through the walls from the hallway.
Take it easy, Fiverr. I don't want you to break your heart bone or whatever it is that you got going on in there.
I think it's already broken.
As you take a second, her head just slides back out to the wall and says, "Are you coming?"
I just need to pick me up. Give me a second. I'm just gonna...
I can't pick you up. I'm dead.
I'm gonna put a hand on my chest to give myself guidance, just to give myself a little pick me up so I can sit up and get through the rest of this for the next minute. Okay.
Come along. Don't take too long.
All those cracks are my spine. Okay, I'm up. I stand up.
Her head pulls back through the wall.
You did this to me.
Well, now you can, get him buried or whatever it is you think you need to do.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's keep going.
All right.
As you make your way down the hall and open up the door that they drifted through, you can see that this room is what appears to be a storage room. There is a wide selection of items, all covered with white draped sheets, what looks like mismatched furniture, even mannequins for dressing people. One thing that stands out is there is a small box in one corner set next to an iron stove that is also covered with a wooden sheet. It appears to be the only thing in the room that is not just furniture or miscellaneous odds and ends.
I've been playing too much Cult. I don't trust the mannequins. I don't trust the stove. I don't trust the couches. I don't trust the sheets.
The two children are floating in the northeast corner, and she is just kind of pointing at the wall. It's right here.
Shava,
Oliver, are you coming with us? Try not
Shava,
to
go
look
check
at
out
the
the wall.
ghosts directly.
Yeah.
Shepard's just gonna walk up to the wall and press on it.
Okay. You give it a push. It gives way easily, despite being what looks like made of stone, as it swings wide and reveals a spiral staircase on the other side.
Hey kids, out of curiosity, why does this exist? Why is this necessary?
Rose shrugs.
You apparently have not been having this. Sorry, Rose. Go ahead, Rose. What'd you say, Rose?
I don't know. My parents didn't tell us.
Yeah, see, Shepard, you've been listening to the conversations we have as girls. She don't know anything except, luckily, her way around. That's good.
I saw it in the dollhouse. I've had a long time to look at it.
That's so depressing.
How long? How long, honey?
You see, she kind of stops for a moment to think. She looks down at Thorn, and they seem to have not quite an unspoken word, but they seem to murmur back and forth to each other before she says, 300 years? I don't know. I'm not so good at counting.
So long.
All right, let's go down to the
I'm
basement
amazed by that information.
before I decide that this is 300 years. The monster's probably already dead. We just need to go down there and confirm that there's a pile of bones.
Yes, I'll look at the children and I'll go, perhaps you should stay here since your parents didn't want you to see the monster.
Yeah,
I mean-
now we know where we're going.
300 years isn't that long, right? What do you call it? Frank, I forget, is it the halflings or the gnomes that live for like 600?
Gnomes.
Yeah, I think we live like half that, or
Yeah. Halflings are much longer lived. They tend to live about as long as dwarves do. Much longer than humans. But
That's just like your childhood, right, Frank? It's not that long. Please say that's not that long.
it's too long. It's long enough that, not a whole lot of monsters are gonna hang out down there for 300 years.
Yeah, you're right. I bet it's just the ghost of the monster. Let's keep going.
Oh, yeah, the ghost. Well, I don't know. Do you think the ghost monster's hurting the kids? I mean, quite honestly, at this point, I'm thinking going just, hey, kids, we're going to go step outside and have a cigarette real quick and, just skedaddle.
you can't go.
No, honey, I'm just talking about what ifs. Don't worry about it. We're going to go look at the monster here.
I've heard that story a lot from a lot of last confessions of sailors. I'm starting to understand why their parents didn't come back. Okay. Just
I don't
stepping
know,
outside
unless-
for a cigarette and then never coming back.
Unless, unless we got to kill the monster to get the fog. I don't know. Maybe we can't even get out of the house. We haven't been able to go down to the front door to. I don't know what to do.
Okay, let's just go. Let's just go down the stairs. Wait, is there anything useful in this room? Can I look over this room to maybe find something useful?
Well, as I said, the drapery there's lots of things covered in white sheets. As you look through, you can see coat racks, standing mirrors, dress mannequins, and so on and so forth. And next to the iron stove, there is, looking under this sheet, what looks like a wooden trunk.
You kids don't have any material needs anymore, right?
Not really.
Okay.
The
good,
Thorn will
good,
say,
good.
I miss my doll.
It's in the other room, honey.
I can't hold it.
If I kill the
And he
doll,
starts
what
to
if it
cry.
ghost?
Oh,
Don't
no.
cry. If I hit
Shepard,
it with
God,
my mace, maybe
jeez.
it'll become a ghost like you.
Oh.
Wait,
Don't
that's
hurt
really-
my doll.
I say
Don't
before I
worry,
pull the
he
trunk
won't.
out and I pull it open. Please be something useful.
Okay, as you move to the chest and kind of flap the white sheet off of it and then open it up, you see that in the white chest is a tattered bed sheet stained with what looks like dry blood.
I immediately close the chest and don't ask any questions.
So I imagine it's just like open, nope, slam shut, and Rose kind of floats over to you and looks down.
It's
What
like
was in it?
nothing, honey. It's like your first retail job when you're cleaning out the ladies' bathroom for the first time and you just don't know what that box is. Open up. Oh, close. We don't need to discuss that.
Yeah, let's leave that alone.
Rose, it's just inside there is just some old cutlery. Don't worry about it.
Make a deception check,
Glory.
which is at disadvantage because you're still exhausted.
Yeah, double disadvantage. I'm just making this up.
Uh,
She looks at you. No, the cutlery is in the kitchen. She kind of leans over and just shoves her head inside the box.
uh-oh.
Oh no.
Kind of pulls her head out. It wasn't cutlery. It was a skeleton.
You didn't have to tell me. Okay, well, I guess this box is going in my backpack now, and I'll deal with it later.
It's a fair. The box is bigger than your backpack is.
I will
It's a fairly large trunk. It's like a traveling trunk.
I'll open the trunk,
I'm gonna
Take a
ask
sheet.
Rose.
stuff
she
it
knows-
into my backpack. I will deal with this later.
Okay. So you open the trunk back up and try to pull the stuff out of it.
I'm like getting like full shoulders deep, trying to hold it so nothing falls out.
Okay. It's kind of awkward to carry. You're a larger creature, so it's not too big a deal. You can get your arms around it and kind of carry. It's like picking up a big air conditioner and trying to move it around. It's kind of heavy, probably weighs around 90, 100 pounds. It's definitely unwieldy, and you don't think you could carry it, especially if you have a shield on one of your arms. That's kind of getting in the way.
Shepard's just like at the verge of tears. Someone help me. I'm responsible for this now.
We can come back and get it.
Bitch, try hard.
There's also the children in the other room. We're not going to be carrying them around all day.
And now I say we go outside and light the whole place on fire and turn it into
go outside.
and turn into a big funeral. Oh, we can't go outside. Damn it! All right.
Starting
we
to
get-
agree with you on the Inferno, and I don't know if that's a good thing.
Well, we're gonna have to kill the monster anyways because Rose is being a pill.
house down.
No, we're not gonna burn your house down,
We're not
Rose.
gonna
We're just
burn your house
talking.
down.
Just-
Yeah,
Just talking.
That didn't work the last time.
that didn't. What do you mean the last?
just- oh my god!
tried to do it before.
Oh God.
Frank,
What happened when they tried to burn your house down before?
It got really cold. And then the house was back.
Mm. All right, you guys ready?
It felt good.
Oh, Rose. All right. So let's go down to the basement and kill this monster.
That's what we have to do. It's what you have to do. We can't help. We're dead.
Starting to get that idea, Rose.
stop reminding us, please.
Yeah, you can't help, but why don't you go hang out here with your brother or whatever?
And Shepard, still holding these rags, just kind of goes, puts it back in the trunk. Everything here is wrong and I don't like it. Let's go, please.
And because Shava's kind of really curious at this point, she's gonna ask Rose if she knows whose body that is.
She will kind of try and shove her head back in the chest to get a better look at the skeleton again.
Don't do that.
It takes her a few seconds, but eventually she just kind of pulls her head back and says, I don't know. Maybe the nursemaid? I don't know what happened to her either.
And I'm gonna say, she wouldn't have been with the baby by any chance.
She nods. She was supposed to take care of the baby, but the baby died.
Yeah. She wanted the baby crying all the time. She was not a very friendly nursemaid.
Okay, look. The only way out of this nightmare is forward. Can we just please go down the stairs?
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Come on, Fiber.
Fiver, you better have an amazing story for how amazing of a cleric I am after this.
Yeah, I think I will. I certainly owe it to you.
Okay. So you all slowly start to descend down the stairs.
I'll wave the children as we leave.
Yeah. Well, as you start to descend the stairs, you see that Rose is following behind the last person, and that Thornbolt is following along behind her, refusing to leave her side. As you descend the staircase, there are no windows, there are no lights. It is kind of awkward, so you kind of have to keep shifting light forward to see where you're going, as it is a very narrow spiral that goes all the way down. It must descend all 3 floors and even lower, as when you reach the bottom, you see that the basement itself is cut into the ground. The walls are made of padded dirt, and the ground itself much the same. As you step out, you see that there are footprints that go every which way. There are hundreds of them. The amount of foot traffic down here is absurd. You can't imagine why or who would have spent so much time walking around down here, but it seems almost like what we consume like modern day mall traffic, a busy one. As you kind of step along and peer out, you see that this small pathway leads towards 2 side pathways. And when you kind of poke your head out here is when all of you start to hear echoes, voices chanting in the air. As you try and listen more keenly as to what they might be saying, you realize that either they're too far away or everything is just nondescript. This is not the music that I wanted. Hold on one second. But they kind of bounce off the walls and hit you from every direction.
Shava, you know this is all your fault, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just want you to
I'm
make
aware.
that clear.
I regret decisions.
I regret your decisions too.
Don't be scared now. You're almost there.
Thanks, Rose.
Rose. Thanks. You're such a sweet kid, Rose. I don't understand how your parents could do such a thing to you. How creepy you are.
She just gives you a very deadpan face look and says, I don't think you're being genuine.
I have no idea why your room would have a lock on the outside. No idea.
Bricked up windows.
Oh, that is true. At the very least, it technically was a bedroom, as according to the Neverwinter Fire Code. Good for them. Technically. They never said the window had to actually go outside.
So you all are faced with a decision here. If you would like to go east or if you would like to go west.
Rose, which way is the monster?
I don't know. I've never been in the basement.
Rose,
Can I tell where the voices are coming from?
No, the voices and the chanting seems to be bouncing off the walls. It sounds like it's coming from everywhere.
Okay.
Which side has more foot traffic?
All of it has foot traffic. Looking down both sides, it looks like people are coming and going from every single direction.
Okay. Shava, you're with me. We're going east. Frank, you go with Fiverr west.
Okay.
Let's split the party. That's exactly what we should do in this situation.
In the creepy basement.
Yes.
So, is there going to be some sort of call if we're in danger, or just how will we find each other again?
I will start screaming really loud.
You'll hear me running up the stairs.
Not very reassuring, but okay.
Don't worry your TikTok heart about it.
Aw.
Shava,
That's the name of the episode, by the way, Curtis. TikTok heart. That's a good one.
TikTok heart.
Shava will say, perhaps we should try and be a bit quiet about it. Though.
You're right. I should stop screaming.
And she will attempt to sneak.
Okay. So 2 of you are going off towards the east, and 2 of you are going off towards the west.
Wait, don't actually leave us alone. This was a bad idea. I immediately start running towards the other crew. Leaving
Okay.
behind.
So all of you start to creep off towards the east. And as you slide down the hallway, you see it turns off and again more paths. At the very end of the hall, it cuts off towards the north, whereas there's a small pathway that runs off towards the south. As you kind of peer around and shine some light down that hallway, you see it splits yet again even more. And at the end, there are 2 stone slabs pulled away from 2 openings, which would appear to be doors or sealed crypts almost.
This is a bad idea.
Do you think there's a monster in there?
I think the monster will let itself be known once we find it.
Ugh.
Why would there be crypts down here? Why would you need to keep your family inside the house? This is like a recipe for ghosts.
Yeah, well, you're all in with the dead things.
Well, at least these people are buried and not shoved in chests.
Yeah, that's weird. Shepard, you're like a priest. Go in there and check it out real quick. Make sure there's not a monster in there.
Sure.
You'll be
It
alright.
is my duty.
I'll be right behind you.
I don't believe you. As I creep forward towards the crypts.
Okay. As you step through this hall, you see there's only 2 of them here, 2 stone slabs, and 2 alcoves that they will be blocking off, carved deeper within. Looking off towards the slab on the eastern side, it appears to be blank, no carving on it whatsoever, though it is shoved away from the door, not sealed in place. Looking at the one towards the west, you do make out a single name. That one reads Walter Durst.
Okay. I found a guy named Walter, which, if a shepherd pulls out his notepad, goes through it, was not on any of the names of the people in the portrait, so this is probably like grandpa, or maybe a really unliked cousin.
Well, you see that this stone slab is not set in the doorway, it's open, and as you peer beyond, there is nothing there. It's just open space, no coffin, no body, nothing.
They really did not like this Walter. They didn't even bury him. They just made him a stone slab, and they threw his body out the window. I don't know.
Walter was our new brother. He was the
Oh.
one who died.
Oh. What?
Speaking of children, I went to go check on Walter, and I unwrapped his swaddle, and then he vanished. What happened?
Rose just kind of looks at you. I don't know. Walter was dead as a baby.
No.
Mama never brought him home.
Oh, interesting. That there would.
Okay. Would anyone mind going back upstairs and fetching that entire trunk, and we can just shove it into this grave and not have to worry about it ever again? I'll even bless it. Kellenbor will bless this grave. Guaranteed.
Was the body in the trunk an infant? I was under the impression it was a full-sized person.
It might have been a full-size person, but I believe it's the baby.
It's
I
not.
didn't-
It was pretty much confirmed it wasn't.
I didn't check. I don't care.
Just put the body in the grave.
So, as you all mull over what to do with this, Rose kind of looks up, and then Thorn kind of looks up at her, and she says, I don't know. I think these might be the family crypt. Why would you bury her here? She's not related to us.
Okay.
Fiverr just kind of gestures at the child, like, see?
Are
I'd
you
like to
all-
look around. I'm
Why
sorry.
are you all insisting on making my job harder?
And you're looking around Shava 4.
I just want to see if there are crypts with Rose and Thorn's names on them.
Okay. As you look down the hallway that was just beyond, you see it leads to stairs into what looks like an open chamber. Nothing that way. But as you slip back down the hall where the other group was originally heading, you do see 2 more alcoves that cut off to the side. And then each side of these, there are 4 more total stone slabs, 2 to the north, 2 to the south. These are actually sealed in their door frames.
Oh yeah, I'd tell the group that there's more of them.
Why couldn't, like Cyric or something like that bless me with their godly powers? They get to have fun being a cleric. I have to do this. Everything sucks. Okay, what did you find? I'm sorry, Shava.
Just more crypts.
Okay.
This
Are there
place is
people in?
depressing. They were sealed, unlike this one.
Oh,
Cool. They can stay sealed, please.
yeah, that's good. Do we
Let's
got to
go
go check
find
out the
it.
other side then?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe the baby's there. Maybe we can just put him inside the crypt and everything will be okay.
There you go.
Hey, because we haven't found his body yet.
So which side are you guys heading to?
Back to the west then from where we first came in? Is that...
Down the stairs to the other room?
Yeah.
Away from the crypts? Okay.
Yes. Because there doesn't appear to be anything here that we're interested in or want to look at for too long.
Okay. Moving back away from the crypts, not investigating too deeply whom they may belong to, you all make your way off towards that, breaking off towards the north, and sliding off into a room that is larger than the hallway itself. Down here, everything's kind of cramped and constrained, 5-foot halls with low ceilings, but this seems to be more cut and dug out, 10-foot high, about 25 feet across. There is 4 chairs set around a nondescript wooden table, and as you look off towards the west, you see there are several alcoves, and one of them has what looks like a straw mattress sticking out of it, just laying on the floor.
Rose, please explain.
She looks over in that direction. It's where somebody sleeps.
Fiverr would go to investigate this straw mattress.
As you make your way into the room, you see there are 3 other alcoves, and all 3 of them have a straw mattress in it.
Perhaps where the help stayed? I don't know.
There's no other doors or anything in here?
There is a passage that leads beyond, farther to the north.
Shava's gonna kind of look around to see if there's anything else of note to maybe make sense of what this room was, other than a sleeping quarter.
Make an insight check. Yeah, that would not be perception. There's not really anything to find. You kind of look around. The way this is all set up, it's almost like a bunk area. Like people of non-import would just lay here, and this is where they would sleep. Though personal possessions, no items of interest. A table for eating whenever it was time to eat. You're not sure why something like this would be down here. It's very odd. And as you kind of run over that fact, each of you hear as the chanting from deeper within the basement kind of goes softer for a second before you hear a cacophonous mix of screaming, yelling, and moaning that kind of washes in like a wave, pressing through the room you've come through and down the hall you have yet to come across. It swallows you up, and that's all you hear, this screaming, this groaning, as Rose calls out, "The monster!"
Oh no.
Oh God.
And that's where we're going to end our session. So, thank you all 7 of you, for joining us this fine week. And this is where our story will call it quits just for now. Before we get out of here, though, we do have some things to go over. Namely, I've got things to shout out for the rest of TTRP Theater. First and foremost, Monday morning is our latest presentation, The Spotlight. Will be a weekly summary of all the fantastic stories we have happening here at TTRP Theater. We'll be highlighting some of our characters, taking a peek into the world of behind the screen DMing, and the growing trend of being a professional player. On Wednesdays, we have Cult the Heartland, a new Cult Divinity launch game premiering on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, a classic Cult experience set in the heart of rural America. On Thursdays, we have Waterdeep Dragon Heist returning. Unfortunately, we didn't play this Thursday. We should be playing next Thursday if all things go correct. Come see your favorite morally gray individuals as they take on one of the greatest modern D&D stories. Unfortunately, we won't have a Land of Dark Dreams or Adventure with Advantage next week, as our DM Beth will be at DragonCon in Atlanta. But hopefully those shows will return the week following, barring any con sickness that Beth may have caught in her time away. But that is everything that we have for this week, and I hope you all had a fantastic evening. Please come see us next week or check out any of the other shows on the channel. We would love to have you here. That's all I have for us, unless, Curtis, you have anything? Anybody else have anything?
Nope, that's good. Fun time.
That's great.
I'm excited to come back and get this crazy monster. Ah!
That's everything we have. Everybody wave goodbye now.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
We'll see you next week
Good
when the
night.
nightmare continues.
Good night, everyone.